Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the WBC Champions Report as we do my bi-monthly Champions Reports on all the four major world titles, the governing bodies, and I cover all divisions from 122 all the way to heavyweight. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So let's jump in. We start with 122 pounds, where the reigning WBC and unified super bantamweight champion is the undefeated monster Naoya Inoue. And we just heard that Inoue is going. It was just announced a few days ago that Inoue and Marlon Tapales is going to happen on Tuesday, December 26th on ESPN Plus, as they will collide for the undisputed super bantamweight title as they bring all four belts together. Really looking forward to this one. Inoue has the opportunity to become a two-time undisputed world champion in the four-belt era. The only other fighter to accomplish that was Terrence Bud Crawford, and he did that earlier this year. So Inoue and Tapales will take place, and I'm picking Inoue to knock Marlon Tapales out and become the undisputed champion at 122. Again, that fight takes place on December 26th, which is a Tuesday on ESPN Plus. It'll come very early morning if you are in the United States. 126 featherweight. Rey Vargas is still the reigning champion, but it's been over a year since he captured that belt. There were original talks that Vargas was going to make his mandatory against WBC interim champion Brandon Figueroa next. And there was talks that fight was going to take place on the Benavidez-Andrade undercard. And then there was talks, they were also saying that it was being considered to take place on December 9th on Showtime, main eventing. But now I haven't heard anything as of late about that fight being confirmed for Benavidez and Andrade. And now we're only about, I think, 3 weeks away from that fight. It's coming up here. We're 3 weeks from this Saturday. We're about 3.5 weeks away from that fight taking place. And that whole card, and I've heard nothing about Vargas and Figueroa. And then the December 9th card is projected to be Erislandy Lara and Danny Garcia in the main event. And then it's looking like it's going to be a pay-per-view as well. Also, and the undercard looks to be set already there too. Some good fights on the undercard. So right now, it's tough to say if and when that fight's going to take place. I'm really hoping we get an announcement very soon. If it does take place, I'm picking Brandon Figueroa to beat Rey Vargas, but I do think it's a fight that could go either way, so we'll see. 130 super featherweight. The reigning champion there is O'Shaquie Foster. Foster finally returned just a couple days ago and took on his mandatory #1 challenger, Rocky Hernandez. Ended up being a much tougher fight than Foster was expecting. Rocky Hernandez was pouring it on O'Shaquie Foster most of the fight, and it finally ended in the 12th round. Foster was able to stop Rocky Hernandez, but what a war, especially through those championship rounds. Foster looked like he had Hernandez out on his feet, and then Hernandez landed a big shot backing him off. The two traded, went to war. Foster, behind on the cards, had to score a 12th round knockout, and he did that to secure the victory and retain his title in a major way. He's talking about fighting Joe Cordina next is what he wants. He wants a unification bout. Really don't know what's going to take place next for Foster, but what a close to the year for him following his victory over Rey Vargas earlier in the year. 135 lightweight. The title is currently vacant. Devin Haney was named champion in recess as he decided to move up to 140 and fight for the title there. And so the WBC decided to technically strip him, name him champion in recess, and declare the world title vacant. And now on November 16th, a Thursday night, Shakur Stevenson, the WBO's #1 ranked contender and former 2-division world champion, will battle Edwin De Los Santos for the vacant WBC title. So big time fight right here. It's main eventing a Thursday card and a Thursday night ESPN card. Should be good. I'm picking Stevenson to win this fight. I think he's going to break down De Los Santos and stop him in the late rounds and become a 3-division world champion. Again, that's Thursday, November 16th on ESPN, Stevenson and De Los Santos. 140, junior welterweight. We just mentioned Devin Haney moving up and fighting for the title there. That is what's coming up next. Regis Prograis, the reigning WBC champion, will defend his title against Devin Haney on December 9th on pay-per-view. It's going to be on DAZN pay-per-view. This one is going to be a good fight. I really think it's the kind of fight that could go either way, but I'm picking Devin Haney to score the victory here. But I do think it's a tough one to predict, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes down. Again, that is Saturday, December 9th on pay-per-view, DAZN pay-per-view, Prograis and Haney. Excuse me. 147, welterweight. The reigning undefeated WBC and undisputed champion is Terrence Bud Crawford. We still don't know if Crawford will be defending the welterweight title or not. He is still currently in talks with Errol Spence for their mandatory rematch. But right now, the talks are seemingly, up and down. They seem 1 minute the fight's going to go down, the next minute it's not going to go down. The rematch, they're saying it's because of weight, it's because of this, it's because of that, but haven't heard anything concrete on when and if that fight's truly going to take place. I'm hoping it takes place sometime soon, or at least gets confirmed sometime soon, so we know it's going to go down, because a lot of answers are going to happen. If Crawford and Spence decide to fight at 154, is Crawford going to give up all his belts at 147? I think that's likely. And then we would see Mario Barrios get upgraded to full champion as he defeated Yordenis Ugas on the Canelo Charlo undercard as he captured the vacant WBC interim title with that victory. So we're going to see what goes down. I'm hoping by the end of year Champions Report we have a clear-cut decision by the WBC to declare, what is going to happen with their world title. 154, super welterweight. The reigning WBC and unified champion is Jermell Charlo of the United States. Charlo lost one of his belts, the WBO belts. He was stripped of that. He was the undisputed champ. Charlo's still the champ at 154 for the WBC, but we don't exactly know what he's going to do next. We know the IBF has ordered him to face his mandatory challenger next, but Charlo has been called out by Tim Tszyu after his fight with Canelo. He said he wants to fight Tim Tszyu next. So we're going to see what's going to go down. I personally feel he is going to fight Tim Tszyu, which would be for undisputed, and I think the IBF would back off their mandatory for one fight to allow undisputed to happen. But it's not concrete right now, and Charlo has not made any confirmation following the loss. I'm really hoping before the end of the year we have some kind of direction on the 154-pound title, though. 160, middleweight. The reigning undefeated and inactive WBC champion is Jermall Charlo of the United States. We know Jermall is returning on November 25th and on the co-feature of the Benavidez Andrade interim super middleweight title fight. We know that's going to take place between Charlo and Andrade. We don't know if it's going to be for the WBC middleweight title as of yet. Right now, speculation looks like it's pointing that way, but nothing has been officially confirmed, and we're about 3.5 weeks away. So, still waiting to hear confirmation of that. I'm not going to be surprised either way if it's for the WBC title or not for the WBC title. But I'm hoping the WBC decides something about their middleweight championship and soon, or at least orders Charlo to make his mandatory against Carlos Adames after the fight with Benavidez. But if it does go forward for the WBC title at middleweight between Charlo and Benavidez, Charlo's and Benavidez, I'm going to pick Charlo to win that fight by TKO in the middle of the later rounds or a decision and retain the WBC title. 168 super middleweight. The reigning WBC and undisputed champion is Saul Canelo Alvarez. While Canelo returned on September 30th and defended his undisputed title against undisputed super welterweight champ at 154, Jermell Charlo. Canelo looked good in that fight. He really outworked, kind of dominated using his power. He dominated Charlo and scored a convincing and one-sided 12-round unanimous decision as he stayed champion. Now, Canelo has his sights set on returning in May, and right now the hot talk is that he could fight Jaime Munguia, the former 154-pound champion, next as a soft-touch prelude to the winner of Benavidez and Andrade next September. That has not been confirmed, but that's what the rumor is as of right now. I personally don't like a fight with Munguia, but I do understand that Canelo needs a softer touch prior to a big showdown with the winner of Benavidez and Andrade. And considering he was going to fight Charlo, the other Charlo, I can't really complain about Munguia instead of Charlo, because I thought Charlo was a complete joke. At least Munguia has stayed active anyways, but we'll see. We'll see what Canelo decides. Hopefully by the end of the year Champions Report, we have a clear picture on what's going to go down. And I also think the result of Benavidez and Andrade is really, on November 25th for the interim title here, is really going to weigh on what Canelo decides to do next. 175, light heavyweight. The reigning WBC and unified light heavyweight champion is the undefeated Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev is set to return in January as he'll make his WBC. He'll fight his WBC mandatory challenger, former super middleweight champion Callum Smith. They will collide in mid-January with all the titles on the line. I'll make my prediction on that by the time we come to the end of the year Champions Report. But really looking forward to that. The fight was supposed to take place in August, but it had to be canceled due to a retinal issue that Beterbiev had. He had to postpone that showdown. 200 cruiserweight. The title is currently vacant and it's going on the line. Is it this week or December 4th? We're gonna see Alunga Makabu battle Noel Gavor. Or they call him Noel Mikhailian as well. They're going to collide for the vacant WBC title. Badu Jack was the champion. He vacated the belt as he is more interested in moving to Bridgerweight to challenge for the WBC Bridgerweight title instead. I am looking forward to this one. I think Noel Gavor is going to beat Alunga Makabu, who was knocked out by Jack earlier this year. I honestly don't know how Makabu got the shot here, but he did. But I think Gavor is going to beat him and unseat him and become the new WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the world. I believe that's taking place November 4th, but it could get pushed back. As long as it happens for the end of the year, I think Gavor is going to win and become champion. Heavyweight. The reigning undefeated WBC heavyweight champion is Tyson Fury. Fury just fought Francis Ngannou in a non-title 10-round bout on October 28th. He got a controversial 12-round split or 10-round split decision there, and also took a knockdown in the third round of that fight. Because of his long training camp and that fight being tougher than expected, his proposed undisputed title fight with Alexander Usyk is likely getting pushed off until February. February of 2024. So that fight will not take place before the end of the year now. It looks very unlikely that could happen. I do believe it's going to happen in January or February, and I will not be giving my prediction on that because it is falling back and we'll give a prediction by the end of the year. But we will see in 2024 an undisputed heavyweight champion crowned. So that is it. That's what I got. That's my WBC Champions Report for the end of October heading into November. Make sure to return in a couple months as I do my end of year Champions Report and cover all the world titles in the WBC and the champions, and give some kind of I do a year recap, and then I will give my predictions for the upcoming year of 2024. So that's it. That's what I got. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.